Hi, I'm Honey, and welcome back to another day surviving Mindcrack Island Day 4 retrospective. However, I've worded that. It's a little bit confusing because for us, by the time this episode, this day 4 ended, day night cycle wise, it was like day 5, 6. So, you know, as you're breaking it down and editing, it's easy to think in terms of literal days. And think about how long we've been together. We were probably hour 6. We were easily 6 hours into this project by this point. This I mean, just think about how many episodes I've had with the time frame, and I've cut out at least an hour. I'm sure I cut out more than that. So yeah, you got to bear in mind how long we've already been at it, and I do apologize in advance if you hear some wheezing or I have to stop to cough or something. I'm still recovering from a really bad chest cold, so it's still hitting me here and there. Anyway, a lot of things happened this day. Blue went from having 0 wins, being called to three players, half our team gone, to suddenly winning back to back. It oh, happy day. We were so excited. We were so excited. We were really, really just thrilled. And we won memory, and it was a beautiful. Wasn't that beautiful with those cool tiki heads and stuff in there? That was a really neat challenge. That was really, really cool. A lot of fun, really interesting. So we got to win that one, and you can see it on my point of view, not really on the official one, but using my brain is finally kicking in here that we need to play the game. I told you guys last episode, I was really stressing. I was really fighting my own head, my own inner demons. Um, I was having a hard time coming to terms with the fact that I was still there and I better step up my game. And so when we got to this one, I was like, okay, remember, mumble. Remember, use the mumble for your advantage. And so I kind of, put my back a little bit to the other team, and we were like huddled up to discuss strategy. And as soon as I saw memory, those of you who watch me stream, I have notes all the time. If I come to a puzzle, I have paper, I have pen, I do a little, ooh, that's a clue, write it down. Now, sometimes games give you those clues back later, or they write them down for you, but a lot of times they don't. And so I always jot down the image, jot down the map. So the first thing my brain went was memory. 2 rows of 8. And I jotted that down. I'm like, is it against the rules to take notes? And so we were all like, no, I don't know, I think that's fine. And so it was like, as long as we communicated, and so even though I didn't see the actual block that came out, maybe I was doing my parkour or drown or whatever, somebody else, as long as they said what it was, jot it down, keep going, jot it down, keep going. And we really just try to stay focused. 1, 2, 3, we push the button and we go out. Derpage still happened. I didn't step on my dang pressure plate one time. We still had some issues, but we actually didn't miss anything. We got lucky with a back-to-back gold. The next 2 buttons in a row that we were to push were the gold blocks, and so, I mean, that was just a nice bonus. But we had everything written down, so as soon as we saw a repeat, it was bam! We know right where to go. And we really did nail it. And so we're suddenly exalted, we're elated, and it just felt like a huge burden, a huge weight was off our shoulders. It was like, finally, we can go to the mat the next day and not be the constant loser team, right? Finally, we got one little win. And for morale point of view, huge, huge. Now, our reward was a cooked steak each, which wasn't that big a deal. We were really hoping for more. And the only supply that we actually started having at that point was food, because we would be able to spend a little bit of time fishing. That we were finally catching up on the food, so we were no longer constantly on the verge of starving, but now we had nothing. Because remember, all that initial rush of supplies that you got in the beginning of the game all walked out the door with Old Man Willikers. Our arrows, our bow, a bunch of wood, everything walked out the door with Old Man Willikers. And then we kind of busted up some of the coal and stuff, and so as Amlump And Zulajin left, there wasn't as much gone, but there was still, a piece of coal, what was left of the fishing rod, a bit of coal, minor things. But that initial supply loss, we were feeling that. And because it was adventure mode, we couldn't go into Minecraft mode and, break blocks and make what we needed. We were stuck with exposure and nothing. So anyway, we were definitely filling the supplies. Now, on a technical side, some of what I had to cut out was some serious mumble issues. There were that mumble plugin that was written for this really was definitely coming into a little bit of growing pain. There were some moments where all of a sudden, we're hearing Doc M, or we're hearing everybody in our ears, and all of a sudden it's like, wait. In the middle of my interview with Jay Sano, all of a sudden there was like, you could hear everybody. And he actually commented to me, he's like, you may not want everyone to hear your answers that you're about to give right now, because people are talking sensitive information. This is a one-on-one situation. I'm sure some people were like, yeah, speculating who, they're being asked to speculate, who would you vote out, or what do you think? And they don't want, you don't want that necessarily broadcast, which you feel comfortable saying with your individual interviewer isn't necessarily what you want everybody to know. So anyway, there were some definite mumble issues, and that was a technical thing, and I'm sure that it was much more stressful on the Mindcracker crew than us as far as that goes. Because for us, it was just like, okay, we hear people. Weird. Voices in my head. But for the guys who were filming, for the guys who were coordinating it, for BTC and Good who were running it and who were trying to coordinate, and Seth and all that, that had to be much more stressful for them on crap issues. We don't want issues. We want this to go. So anyway, that's just some other information, and just for you guys. I actually originally I wasn't intending to have any really of the behind the scenes stuff in mind. I was just going to kind of show my point of view of what was actually live. But after 2.5 years, and seeing how tightly cut the main show was, and realizing how much footage was lost on different points of views on different teams, I thought, you know what? It's not hurting anything. It's a side point of view. I'm encouraging everybody to watch the main show. And I kind of thought that was interesting, and so I've included a lot of the little conversations where we were all together as a group, mostly because I want you guys to see not just kind of what we experienced and the wait times and stuff, but I want you guys to see some of the interaction that we got to have. Now, maybe that interaction ended up playing in the big meta game with impressions of each other and such. Because remember, the only real experience that Red Team had with me was in those little few moments that we were together in the official show and in our in between. And so I imagine that their view of me was the bubble-headed, worthless, quote-unquote girl gamer. And it's funny because I really do not appreciate myself being a woman. I don't appreciate those people who are all boobs, makeup, dolled up, and you just throw a controller in their hands, and it's just a boob cam to drive the audience, but there's no interest in the game. There's no clue. I do not like that. And at the same time, I recognize that I am not like a pro gamer, right? I'm not Dark Fan. He's really good with the strategy, and he is a good gamer. You watch people play games and you're like, dang, they just rip that up. They're so good. And then there's me. And I'm going to mess up, and I'm going to get lost, and I'm going to be confused, and I'm not going to see the puzzle, but I'm going to have a good time, and we're going to make our way through it, right? And so I am just imagining their point of view of me just like, yeah, stereotypical, how'd she get in here? Who put her in here? I don't know what they actually were thinking. I could just know that, especially after the day, me being a girl was so rough. was me just being me. And so now we get to what you all want to hear about. The reward, the big reward for winning the memory challenge. And the big reward for winning the memory challenge was getting to be a spotter in that really hard archery range. So I got to go back there and I got to be in up and where I had a good view of the back two targets, which were hella far. I think at one point Vaughn commented that, I mean, it took time for it to even render in where he could see it, right? And I think that was a huge, huge advantage, a huge reward. And the guys later on said, yeah, being able to know that, yes, I'm there, just keep shooting it. Yes, I need to go high, low, left, right, and not just guessing, made a huge difference. In retrospect, apparently my and I even realized it at the time afterwards, not when it was happening, that I was being incredibly distracting to the other team. I wasn't planning on that. I wasn't trying to do that. I was just spotting for my team. I was just trying to help. And they made a bunch of jokes, and they were laughing at me, and I was so embarrassed because the whole $5. I feel like I should be paying $5 a minute here, and like it was some sex line or something, and oh my goodness, I was so embarrassed, but I can't shut down, and I'm used to being the only girl, like I said before, and so for me, it's like, you know what? You can harass me, baby, but I'm going to shove it right back at you. And if I can take it if you can take it, right? And so it was like, you know what? I can't shut down. You can think whatever you want to think about me. I am just trying to narrow them in on the button, right? So close. And I'm excited. This is an elimination, and we won't have to go. If I can just communicate with these guys and help them in any way to narrow their shots down on this super long, ridiculous archery range, then we don't have to vote somebody out. Then we have a night of breather. Then finally the other team gets to go to the mat and they have to vote somebody off. And part of it was the morale. Part of it was the yes, we got this. Part of it was me just really trying to be helpful. And hi, I'm Honney. Don't start coughing. Okay, we're going to try to avoid the coughing fit. And it was just one of those combination things, and all the rest of these guys that hadn't worked with me, that hadn't already been talking to me all this time, that aren't used to the way I talk, were just overwhelmed with, oh my god, what is she doing? What am I hearing? And I was just spotting. I was just telling them where to go to win, right? Now, I was excited and I was giggly. And there's something else I want to address about this. At the tail end, when we won, and I think I chanted or I cheered. I was actually bouncing up and down in my chair. Again, nothing new to those of you who watch me stream. It's like, yes, we did it. We won. And I actually chanted, we won. And, good, excellent commentating that he did. It was like, ooh, rubbing it in your face. I didn't mean that, the golden rule, right? Treat, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Or let's just boil it down to the don't be a dick rule. Okay? That's like rule number 1. It all basically means the same thing. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I wasn't trying to be difficult. I wasn't trying to rub it in their face. I was just so dang excited. And we were in a Skype call, so everybody heard everyone. Because of the distance, we couldn't use Mumble for that one challenge. And so I wasn't trying to. I was excited. The various challenges, we talked to you guys about the pressure we were feeling and the different things. And you've heard each of the contestants, or many of the contestants in various ways talking about, oh, their heart is going, or their hands are shaking, or not going to go into a song. Honey Song Syndrome. I so wanted to do that. Fight through it, woman. And it was just one of those things that when you heard the parkour, oh, my hands are shaking. Whoa, I'm stressed. Oh my goodness, my heart. Wow, we got through that. Yes. It's that same kind of adrenaline rush. It's that same kind of, oh, okay, we did that. We did that. Only I'm excitable. And of course me saying shut up, I'm excited to the guys didn't help the situation. And so and so it was just one of those things that me being me caused so much embarrassment. So much embarrassment. And so, you know, I try to show as much of that and kind of the after effects of that. And I don't even know what the guys are thinking on the other side of the team. At this point I was really terrified of the idea of the merge because for one night, hello, Athena on my bed, for one night, I didn't have to worry about being on the chopping block. Because remember, every time we've gone there, my name was up at least once. And I just knew that when we merged, we were right back at ground zero, and I'm the dumbass girl, and they're just gonna be like, yeah, you on Mindcrack? No way, right? So anyway, for that moment, I didn't have to worry about that. I felt proud because I felt like both of the challenges that we just did that we won, I got to equally contribute to in some way. I mean, I wasn't throwing the arrows, I wasn't shooting the arrows, but I got to be the spotter. You know, I really felt like the three of us equally held our own and did a good job. And it was just nice to be able to say, I did a good job. We got this for now. So anyway, it was incredible, and you know, it was just one of those days. It's kind of like it's like 3/4 of the quotes on my quote list on stream. It I don't mean it to be bad or naughty. It just sounds that way. Or taken out of context, just the way I talk or the way I say things is like, what? And I don't mean it that way. That's just how it sounds. And this is one of those situations. And yeah, all that time ago. Like I said, hi, I'm Honey. I'm the same person now as I was then. In a lot of ways, seeing this has been really interesting to me because although I am the same, a lot of ways I'm very different. I'm much more stable in myself, in my emotions, in everything. I'm a lot more stable, a lot more grounded than at that time. There was so much life upheaval in my personal life that was going on, and that was, every time the dust settled, something else would get kicked up, and major things. And so it's really interesting to see how similar I am, still am right now as I was then, and at the same time how vastly different some things are just on an inner level. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have had a good time with this retrospective, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more poking and teasing and prodding by everybody, and all love, of course. Till next time, guys. Bye!